Dear students, today we have to discuss about the physical properties and chemical properties of haloalkanes and haloalkenes. First, we have to discuss about the physical properties. Physical properties. When you are discussing the physical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes, first we have to discuss about the physical state. And second we have to discuss about the boiling points and melting points. The third we have to discuss about the solubility of haloalkanes and haloarenes. First we have to discuss about the physical state. First, haloalkanes means chloroethane, bromoethane, bromomethane, and some of the fluorochloromethanes are gaseous in state. Remaining all are liquid or solid in state. Then we have to discuss about the boiling point and melting points. Here when you are discussing the boiling points of haloalkane with concerned hydrocarbon, that means methane and methyl chloride. When we are comparing the boiling point and melting point of haloalkane with the concerned hydrocarbon having more boiling point due to the more boiling point and melting point due to the polar in nature. This haloalkane part polar in nature. Here this is non-polar in nature. Hydrocarbon is non-polar in nature. Due to polar in nature, the haloalkanes are having more boiling point and melting point than concerned hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons have van der Waals attraction forces. Here these are having dipole attraction forces. Dipole attraction forces are more stronger than van der Waals attraction forces. So haloalkanes have more boiling points and melting points than concerned hydrocarbons. Then we have to discuss about the boiling point of melting points, and melting points of different haloalkanes. Suppose for example methyl fluoride, methyl chloride, methyl bromide, methyl iodide. Here all are attached to the only one hydrocarbon part, but the halogen atom is different. When you are moving from left to right side, the halogen atom size was increased. By increasing the size of the halogen atom, here the boiling points and melting points increases. By increasing the size, atomic number increases. By increasing the atomic number, the mass of the halogen atom increases. Then the boiling point and melting points of haloalkanes increases here. So methyl chloride has more boiling point than methyl fluoride. Methyl bromide has more boiling point than methyl chloride. Methyl iodide has more boiling point than methyl bromide. This is about the one more system. Then we have to discuss about the isomeric alkanes. Haloalkanes. Isomeric haloalkanes means here you take the CH2, Br. Here this is the one molecule. One bromobutane, N-bromobutane, we call as a N-bromobutane. Then we have to discuss one more molecule. I am taking one more molecule. This is the one more molecule isobromobutane, isobutyl bromide, isobutyl bromide. This is normal butyl bromide. This is isobutyl bromide, or okay, 2-methyl bromopropane, 2-methyl bromopropane. When we are seeing this, when we are comparing the boiling points of, melting points of these isomeric compounds, okay, which has more surface area, that only has more boiling point and melting point. So normal bromobutane or normal butyl bromide contains 5 atoms in surface area. Okay, here in isobutyl bromide only 4 atoms are present in surface area. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here 5 atoms are present in surface area. Here 4 atoms are present in surface area. So which has more surface area, that only has more boiling point and melting point. So normal alkyl bromides or chlorides or iodides are more boiling point than isomeric haloalkanes. Okay, this is about the boiling points and melting points. Then we have to discuss about the solubility. Okay, due to the polar in nature of alkyl halide along with the hydrocarbon part, okay, due to the polar in nature, these haloalkanes are partially soluble in water, and completely soluble in organic solvents, Okay, that solubility also, when we are comparing the solubility in normal and iso haloalkanes, which has more surface area, that slightly soluble compared to the iso compound, that which has more surface area, that has slightly slowly soluble in water compared to the iso compound, This is about the one simple topic, physical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes, physical state, boiling points and melting points, and then solubility of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Then we have to we'll discuss about the chemical properties. Chemical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Okay, here different chemical properties are there. Mainly, haloalkanes are mainly involved in nucleophilic substitution reactions. Haloalkanes are mainly involved in elimination reactions. Haloalkanes are easily reacts with the various metals. Okay, then first we will discuss about the nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes. Nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes. Okay, first we will discuss about the nucleophilic reactions of haloalkanes. First, chemical properties. First chemical property is nucleophilic substitution reaction. Nucleophilic substitution reaction. First, we are going to discuss about the nucleophilic substitution reaction.
light.
Later. Nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, here one nucleophile is substituted with another nucleophile. We called as a nucleophilic substitution. One nucleophile is substituted with another nucleophile. We called as a nucleophilic substitution reaction. That means, okay, here carbon is there. One nucleophile. Okay, this is the nucleophile. Okay, it is substituted with OH minus ion. What is the nucleophile? Negative charged file. Negative charged. Okay, negative charged particle we called as a nucleophile. One of the negative charged particle replaced with the another negative charged particle we called as a nucleophilic substitution reaction. Here we get OH along with the Nu minus. Here one negative charged group replaced with the another negative charged group. One negative charged group, okay, is substituted with another negative charged group. Okay, here we have different nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, first nucleophilic substitution reaction is one is alkyl halides reaction with, okay, alkyl halides reaction with potassium cyanide and silver cyanide. Alkyl halides or haloalkanes reacts with potassium cyanide and silver cyanide. Okay, here when alkyl halide normal formula Rx. When Rx, okay, here reacts with potassium cyanide and silver cyanide. When it reacts with potassium cyanide, it loses X and K in the form of Kx, okay, and forms RCN, means alkyl cyanides. Alkyl cyanides. When Rx reacts with silver cyanide, it forms, okay, it loses silver halide, but it forms alkyl isocyanides. Alkyl isocyanides. Okay, here when alkyl halide reacts with the potassium cyanide, it forms cyanides. When alkyl halide reacts with silver cyanide, it forms isocyanides. What is the reason for this reaction? Here potassium cyanide is a ionic compound. Okay, it releases cyanide. It releases cyanide. Here in cyanide, carbon has electron donating capacity and nitrogen has electron donating capacity. Nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon, so nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon. So here carbon donates and nitrogen also donates the electron pair and form the cyanides. But in silver cyanide is the covalent cyanide. Okay, here in silver cyanide, okay, it doesn't releases cyanide group. It doesn't releases cyanide group due to the more melting point and boiling point, due to the more stability of this one. Okay, here we have only, okay, in silver cyanide we have only nitrogen, okay, have electron donating capacity and form the alkyl isocyanides due to the ionic nature of potassium cyanide, due to the covalent nature of silver cyanide. Okay, potassium cyanide forms cyanides, silver cyanide forms isocyanides. This is about the one reaction with silver cyanide and potassium cyanide. Silver cyanide and potassium cyanide. Then we have to discuss about the one more nucleophilic substitution reaction with, okay, potassium nitrite and silver nitrite. reaction with potassium nitrite and silver nitrite. Here also same, potassium nitrite is the ionic nitrite, silver nitrite is the covalent nitrite. Okay, so Vinarex alkyl halide reacts with potassium nitrite, forms alkyl nitrites, form the alkyl nitrites, RNO2 be called as a alkyl nitrites. Okay, when alkyl halide reacts with silver nitrite, here also same, it is a covalent nitrite. Okay, covalent nitrite, so it forms RONO, alkyl isonitrite. Alkyl isonitrite, alkyl nitrite and alkyl isonitrites are formed. Then third one, reaction with ammonia. Reaction with ammonia. When alkyl halide reacts with ammonia, ammonia means NH3. It may be written like this: NH2H. It loses HX and forms. It loses HX and forms RNH2. We called as amines. This we called as primary amines. NH2 functional group containing molecules we called as amines. When alkyl halide reacts with primary amine means RNH2, we called as primary amine. Then we get, okay, here H, here X, it loses HX molecule and form R2NH. R2NH we called as secondary amine. Okay, that means when alkyl halide reacts with ammonia, forms primary amines. When alkyl halide reacts with primary amine and forms secondary amines. When alkyl halide reacts with secondary amine, forms tertiary amines. R3N we call as tertiary amine. This is the reaction with ammonia. Okay, in continuation, we'll see some more chemical reactions. Okay, reaction with water, reaction with hydrogen, reaction with aqueous potassium hydroxide. Reaction with water, okay, hydrogen and hydrogen. When alkyl halide reaction with water or hydrogen, when it reacts with water, it forms alcohols. When it reacts with hydrogen, it forms alkenes. When it reacts with water, it forms alcohol. When it reacts with hydrogen, it forms alkanes. It forms the alkanes. Okay, one more important reaction is there. Reaction with aqueous potassium hydroxide. Aqueous potassium hydroxide means potassium hydroxide which is dissolved in water. We called as a aqueous potassium hydroxide. Aqueous potassium hydroxide. When alkyl halide reacts with aqueous potassium hydroxide, it forms alcohol. It loses KX molecule and releases and forms the alcohol. Okay, then one more important reaction with okay, alcoholic potassium hydroxide. This is the one important reaction, and here we will discuss about the difference between aqueous potassium hydroxide and alcoholic potassium hydroxide. Here I am taking one important alkyl halide, okay, CH3Cl, CH2Cl, chloroethane. Okay, when it reacts with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, okay, it releases HCl molecule. It releases HCl molecule and forms ethene. See the reaction. See the difference between these two reactions. When alkyl halide, RX is the alkyl halide, chloroethane is also alkyl halide. Okay, both are reacts with. One is reacts with aqueous potassium hydroxide, form the alcohol. Alcoholic potassium hydroxide form the ethene. Here nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place. Here elimination reaction takes place. What is the difference between aqueous potassium hydroxide and alcoholic potassium hydroxide? Okay, when you are discussing about the aqueous potassium hydroxide and here alcoholic potassium hydroxide. Okay, aqueous potassium hydroxide means water molecules are surrounded by the potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide means Ka plus and OH minus. Okay, here ethyl alcohol molecules. Alcoholic potassium hydroxide means ethyl alcohol molecules are surrounded by the potassium hydroxide molecules. Ethyl alcohol molecules surrounded by the potassium hydroxide molecules. Here also K plus and OH minus. Compared to the size of the water and ethyl alcohol has more size compared to the water. Okay, due to the more size, bulky nature of ethyl alcohol, there is no removal of OH minus ion from the alcoholic atmosphere. Here OH minus ion easily removes or easily escaped from the water atmosphere. Due to this reason, due to the bulky nature of ethyl alcohol molecule, this in the presence of alcoholic potassium hydroxide, alkyl halides or haloalkanes are mainly involves in elimination reaction, and here in the presence of aqueous potassium hydroxide, alkyl halides are involved in nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, these are some important nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, and then we have to discuss about the types of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Types of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, nucleophilic substitution reaction are mainly two types. Are mainly classified into two types. Types of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Nucleophilic substitution based on the rate of the reaction. Nucleophilic substitution reactions were classified into two types, or these are two types. One is one simple one, SN1 and SN2. SN1 means uni, F1 means uni, N means nucleophilic, S means substitution. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, here 2 means bi, N means nucleophilic, S means substitution. Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction and bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Before seeing these nucleophilic substitution reaction, SN1 and SN2 reaction, then we have to discuss about some of the important terms. We have to discuss about some important terms of this haloalkanes and haloarenes. First important term, chiral carbon. chiral carbon. What is the chiral carbon? What is the chiral carbon? And then second we have to discuss about the achiral carbon. What is the meaning of chiral carbon? Okay, carbon which is attached to the four different groups. The carbon which is attached to the four different groups. The carbon which is attached to the four different groups we called as a chiral carbon. This chiral carbon we called as a chiral carbon. Example for this, okay, chiral carbon. Example for this, okay, here CH3, CH2, CH3, okay, here Br, and here H. The name of this molecule is 2-bromobutane. 2-bromobutane. This 2-bromobutane contain, okay, here 1, 2, 3, 4. At second position bromine is there, so we called as a 2-bromo, and 4 carbon atoms are there, so we called as a 2-bromobutane. A second carbon attached to the four different groups. This side methyl group, this side hydrogen, here bromine, and here ethyl group. This carbon attached to four different groups, so this carbon was called as a chiral carbon. A chiral carbon means if carbon not attached to the four different groups, this carbon was called as a chiral carbon, and this carbon was also called as symmetrical carbon. This carbon, chiral carbon, we called as a, okay, unsymmetrical carbon or a symmetrical carbon. This is about the chiral carbon and achiral carbon. Then we have to discuss about the racemic mixture. Racemic mixture, enantiomers. Racemic mixture, enantiomers. And what is the optical activity of, okay, molecules? Optical activity of, okay, organic molecules. Today we will discuss about the one more topic, enantiomers. Enantiomers. Okay, this is also one of the important topic for the SN1 and SN2. Enantiomers. What is the meaning of enantiomer? The non-superimposable mirror images we called as a enantiomers. Non-superimposable means one molecule is not lying on the other molecule. Like this, like left hand, right hand. Here see left hand, right hand. Okay, when you keep, okay, right hand and left hand, these two are not lying perfectly. So this we called as a non-superimposable. When we see the right hand in mirror, we observe left hand. When we see the left hand in mirror, we have to observe right hand. Okay, that means these two, left and right hand, both are non-superimposable mirror images. Non-superimposable mirror images we called as a enantiomers. Non-superimposable mirror images we called as a enantiomers. Which has chiral carbon, those only shows enantiomeric pair. Those only forms enantiomeric forms, enantiomeric pairs. Example for this, so many examples are there. In that way, first we have to take the lactic acid. Lactic acid. Okay, this is the formula of lactic acid. Structure of lactic acid. When we see the mirror, when we see lactic acid in mirror, we have to observe this molecule. This molecule. These two are enantiomers. One, when just lift this molecule and keep on this one, this OH comes left side, this OH comes right side. So these two are non-superimposable. When we see these two molecules in a mirror, this is called a mirror. Okay, see these two molecules in mirror. One, this mirror image to this one. This mirror image to this one. So these two are the mirror images and non-superimposable. So these two are called as these two lactic acid molecules we called as enantiomers. Another way, okay, here we called this one D-lactic acid. This we called as L-lactic acid. D-lactic acid. And here this is D-lactic acid, L-lactic acid. What is the meaning of this D? Okay, before the last carbon, this carbon we called as a but one carbon, last but one carbon. This last but one carbon has OH group or highly electronegative group at right side. So this configuration we called as a D. In this molecule, at last but one carbon, highly electronegative group or OH group present at left side. So we called as a L-lactic acid. And sometimes D plus lactic acid, L minus lactic acid. Plus means dextro, okay, minus means levo. That means this molecule rotates plane polarized light towards right side. This molecule rotates plane polarized light towards the left side. Which rotates right side we called as a dextro. Which rotates the left side we called as a levo. Okay, so these two are optically active molecules. These are rotates. This molecule rotates plane polar right towards right side. This molecule rotates plane polar right towards left side. So these two molecules are optically active molecules. The optical activity of organic molecules, okay, explained by using polarimeter experiment. Then in continuation we'll see the polarimeter in next class.